Well, week 15 of the NFL season has come and gone, and now the NFC West is now in the Rams' control. They beat the 49ers in a terrible Thursday night game, 12-6. One of the worst games I think you could ever watch. I knew something was up with this game, so that's why I didn't watch it. I figured something was up. 12-6, ugly score. Terrible game. 49ers basically out of it at this point. They need a lot of help to get into the playoffs at this point. The Commanders close to the clinching. The Saints had a 2-point try at the end, and there was some ref ball, of course, too. Chiefs get another win. They've clinched the West already, clinched the playoff spot, basically trying to get that number one seed at this point, and they are very close to it. Bengals, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Ravens easily take care of the Giants. Jets, Jags is a game that happened. Cowboys keep their playoff hopes alive in a game where they ran all over the Panthers. The Panthers just demoralized. Dolphins basically also same thing. They're in the same boat as San Francisco. They're kind of out of the playoff hunt in a way. They lose to the Texans. The offense sputtered yet again. Game-sealing pick late. Texans take the AFC South, which, that basically gets rid of the Colts from the equation, but then they got blown out by the Broncos anyway. The Bucks beat the brakes off the Chargers in a game I did not expect. Again, I did not expect it to be a blowout like that, but it happened. The Cardinals, another big win for them. They're 500 again. They're still in the race for the NFC West and even a playoff spot if things continue to falter with Washington. If Washington loses some games, it's one of the teams to look out for. You can't say that for the Packers, though. They have reached 10 wins with their victory over Seattle, in which Geno Smith got hurt. Again, those two marquee late matchups in the 425 window, 425 Eastern window. The Bills outlast the Lions. Another fantastic performance from Josh Allen. David Montgomery is probably done for the year. Honestly, it's unfortunate. A lot of more injuries came up after that for the Lions too. The Eagles, one step closer to winning the NFC East, smothered the Steelers. Second half, all Eagles, dominant. There were only 5 drives in the second half. And the Eagles basically, they just ran and threw, and they did everything they could on defense. And the Steelers just had no answers for Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown, just no answers at all. And then the Vikings, they clinched the playoff spot, by the way. They clinched the playoff spot. There was some weirdness where they couldn't clinch last week due to tiebreakers, but now they've clinched. They clinched. And the Falcons stay alive in a late game performance against Desmond Ridder. I know. Desmond Ridder and the Raiders. Yeah. So yeah, that's something that happened. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is gone from the Chiefs too, which is crazy. I don't believe it, bro. I don't believe it. But yeah, not a lot of marquee games on Sunday because they've been spread out. Again, Broncos-Chargers got flexed to Thursday night, and the Chargers kind of need to stay in this one. If they beat the Broncos, they could stay in this playoff race. You know what I'm saying? They could stay in this playoff race. But they have to beat the Broncos. Justin Herbert and company didn't look too good this past week. They didn't look too good against the Bucks. So you're going to have to do something. I think they got to do something really quickly. This is one of those games where it's just it's demoralizing. The Broncos are playing real good with Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, and other guys, stepping up, on the offensive side of the ball. And, of course, the defense has been pretty good. I wouldn't say great, but pretty good. And then we have 2 games on Saturday because, of course, we got to enter the college football playoff for, NFL games on Saturday. Got to stretch that, Sports Broadcasting Act of 1963 to the limit. I know. I know. But yeah, Texas Chiefs and Steelers Ravens on Saturday. And basically, again, leaves that Sunday slate kind of dry. But, it happens. So all four of these, well, actually three of the four have clinched playoff spot. The Ravens haven't clinched a spot yet. The other three have. Steelers, yes, they have clinched a playoff spot despite losing on Sunday because of other factors happening. Last time we saw the Ravens and the Steelers, it was a rough game. And, the Steelers, if they win this game, they would clinch the AFC North. They would clinch the North. While it wouldn't eliminate Baltimore from anything, it would put some pressure on them to win their last couple games. It would put some pressure on them to win. Texans Chiefs, again, Texans don't think they're going to get a top 3 seed. I think they're going to be stuck as the 4 seed because I just don't think they have enough. There's not enough there to where they can, get over the top, and Patrick Mahomes got hurt, but, somebody did something to his ankles to where, he's magically, doing Mahomes things in practice. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. This should be a pretty good game. The Texans, with Nico Collins, Joe Mixon, really underrated. I wouldn't say underrated defense because there have been some games where the Texans defense has just been But yeah, these are 2 pretty good games for Saturday. I will say that. And it pairs very well with the college football playoffs. It pairs very, very well. Again, Sunday, for Sunday, it's just a lot of teams trying to stay in the playoff race. Again, the Lions, Bears does not matter at all. But the Falcons, Giants, the Falcons can win. The Cardinals can beat the Panthers. The Rams can beat the Jets. Bengals, they got to beat the Browns. Bills trying to at least try to get a 1 seed. It may not happen. But yeah, there's some teams that definitely need the win this week, and it would set up, the Saturday after that, those games after that, and the Christmas games very perfectly because again, the Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, and Texans are all going to play, this upcoming Saturday, and then they're going to play on Christmas Day. So, yeah, man. Vikings Seahawks is going to be stuck in the 305 slot. It's stuck in the regional window. So, if you don't want to watch Patriots, Bills, or Jags, Raiders, or even 49ers Dolphins, because 49ers Dolphins just doesn't scream, a good game to me anymore because these 2 teams just look bad, man. They look bad in different ways. It's just painfully mid, in that window. So can Sam Howell, who has to step up now, can he keep the ship afloat for the Seahawks in the short term? Because again, if things come push to shove in week 17, or rather in week 18, I'm still thinking of the old days, man. I miss when there was week 17, man. I miss that. But yeah, week 18, the final week of the regular season, could come to a head for the Seahawks and the Rams. And the same thing with the Vikings. They are still 11-2. The Lions are 11-2 again after a wild week. So things for these 2 teams could come down to the final week of the regular season, and either one of these 2 teams here, the Vikings and the Seahawks, could be in the Sunday night football finale that would end the regular season in 2024 off with a bang, or rather in the 2024 regular season anyway, because it's in 2025, but don't worry about it. And then the Packers, they play the Saints on Monday night, but it's a game that does not really matter at all because the Saints, don't have Derek Carr anymore because he's hurt, and then, they've been doing some other stuff that has just been weird, but it's the Saints, so can't really blame them too much. Bucks Cowboys, I have no idea how this is still the Sunday night game, but again, the games have been spread kind of thin, so, a surging running attack from, Rico Dowdle and the rest of the Cowboys, has just been, doing their thing. Although the injuries are still piling up, same thing for other teams like the 49ers and the Lions. The Cowboys have been able to persevere over the last couple weeks. Can they beat the Buccaneers, who are trying to clinch the South? If the Buccaneers do win, I think that would, get them closer and closer to clinching the South. You know what I'm saying? That would get them closer and closer. But I don't think they would actually clinch yet because, again, there's tiebreakers and stuff. So, yeah, this is a big game still. Cowboys are still technically in the playoff hunt for God knows how long, because, again, you look at the standings. And, again, the only real kind of crazy thing, and, again, the AFC, it is basically almost set, If the Broncos, lose a couple games here and there, they end up like 9-8 or something like that. Yeah, there's going to be some craziness in the past couple weeks. But again, all the Broncos have to do is win. All the Ravens have to do is win. It's going to take a lot for the Bengals or the Colts or even the Dolphins to make the playoffs. So I think we're close to set with our playoff team. It's just going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of losing out. For the NFC, the West still going to come down to the last week. Cards, Seahawks, and Rams all have big games against each other over the next couple weeks. Again, the Commanders, if they beat the Eagles, that basically locks it up. That basically ends it for the Cowboys. That ends it if they beat the Eagles. And then the NFC South is still up for grabs, but the Saints are kind of out of it. So we'll find out. We'll find out what happens over this upcoming weekend. Can't wait for Thursday night, Saturday games, and Sunday. It's going to be beautiful, man. It's going to be beautiful. So week 16, it's almost here. Can't wait. Good night, y'all. I'll see you. Take care.